The Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago will soon be implementing number portability in our twin island republic. But what is number portability? Simply put, number portability or number porting is a regulated facility which enables subscribers to change their service provider while keeping their existing telephone number. No longer will customers feel stuck with carriers they dislike simply to avoid the hassle or expense of notifying friends, family and business associates of a change in numbers. While it is a simple but dramatic change for consumers, there are technical and regulatory challenges associated with a project of this scale. To determine and propose the most efficient approach for the implementation, the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago held the open forum seminar entitled Introducing Number Portability to Trinidad and Tobago. Deputy Chairman of the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Nazir Aladdin, outlined the significant technical and regulatory work required in the implementation process.
Number portability brings benefits to both the users who wish to port as well as to those who do not wish to port by encouraging concessionaires to offer more attractive packages and improve quality of service to their subscribers in order to retain them. All in all, it's a better service for you, the consumer, that it brings. Ladies and gentlemen, in a fixed line or mobile telephone market environment, providers compete to attract customers, increase market share, and increase revenue. For the consumers of these services, this environment should result in lower prices, better quality, more innovative services and products, as well as greater choice of both services and providers. Another characteristic of a competitive fixed line or mobile telephone market environment is that customers are at liberty to obtain service from any provider that the customer wishes. He or she may switch between service providers in order to obtain the best service offering for their lifestyle. Tatt remains committed to regulating an environment that best meets these needs of the stakeholders.
Number portability will usher in improvements and benefits for customers. These include reduced costs, the right to retain your number when changing operator, opportunities for the introduction of new services by service providers, strengthens business development, enhances the country's image, and provides the ability to change operators as many times as desired. With number portability, your number goes with you. This was the theme by guest speaker Mr. Fidel Augusto Navarro Jimenez, head of Number Portability at the National Authority of Public Services, Panama, who shared the experience from our Latin American neighbors. He stressed that portability's success is not measured in the quantity of ports, but in the competing product benefits given.
The people think about that if I implemented number portability, if I will take 100,000 ports numbers to be successful. It's not true. Maybe only 50,000, but maybe the operators will be greater the quality, right, the promotions, etc. It is successful.
Worldwide number portability is listed as one of the most requested phone options by consumers in countries where the service is not available. But technically, there are challenges. There are 4 possible implementation solutions for number portability, each with its own complexities and unique pros and cons. Guest presenter Mr. Brian Guzman of the Dominican Telecommunications Institute, Indotel, in the Dominican Republic, shared the solution adopted in his country and why.
As in Panama, we established a technical number portability committee to do all the documents needed for the international tender. When did the portability system started? It was on September 30, 2009, the mechanism or method we used, we stated was going to be local query, which is more reliable, more secure, and there are a set of quality standards which we were looking for. Because we saw in a benchmark, international benchmark we did back in time, we saw that countries that adopted another method, like query on release or all the methods available of forwarding and all that, at the end, they implemented local query, like 2 years after or 1 year after. They decided to go with the local query.
You said you didn't do it in the case of the Dominican Republic. You did it to strengthen competition. And it was not, so you can't look at the number of porting transactions as a single indicator that portability was a success. If that is not an indicator on its own, what other indicators do you use to measure the broadening or strengthening of competition as a consequence of the introduction of local number portability in the Dominican Republic?
I can try to answer your question. I think I agree with Brian that the measure of the successful portability is not for the transaction, because we measure that benefits for the users. For example, in Panama, I will put one example. My wife. Yes. She has 2 lines. The line at my home, I pay. The name is she. And she had the other line. And our provider, for every time, we ask to change the other line, because this line was in the other places, to our home. And they say, we can. She say me, oh, bad provider. I say, have a solution. Port the line with the other provider and put the line here at home. Oh, that's a good idea. I like the ADSL because it's more established service. Your service is not
as good.
Yes, not good. But now, when you install the modem here, I have the plug for the line and I have plug for the internet. Maybe I will think about it. Okay. At the following day, my internet provider calls me, and they ask for what we ported the line, and if I am good with your service, happy, yeah. And I say, okay, we ported the line because problem, okay, and say, now, yesterday your competition called me and they offer me lower money per the same internet service, and I say your service is more good than their service, but maybe I will think about it because they save me $4 lower. 4 plus 4 is 8. If 1 year is okay.
With the transition and porting from provider to provider, would the effect of the different frequencies that providers use with cell phones, how was that dealt with, or was it a factor in terms of porting from one provider to the other?
No, it actually doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. In the frequencies used by each of the providers, we have different mobile providers with using different frequencies, as that's not an issue.
According to these guys in the presentation, they said a database in Dominica, one was in Spain and the other one was in Miami. Where are you going to house your database here, and who is going to administer it?
Okay. one of the reasons why we were lucky to have two speakers is that in the case of the Dominican Republic, they opted for an independent and remotely located party. The other, in the case of Panama, that country took the decision to install the clearinghouse database in Panama. So we had both sides of the coin to learn from. A final decision has not been taken by the authority and the operators as yet, because we are at an advanced stage of preparing an RFP to go out for international bids. And when those bids come in and we see the different financial and technical options that are available to us, then a decision will be made.
Does Tatt intend to continue with their customer survey analysis post-number portability implementation? Because my concern is, whilst I appreciate what the gentleman from DOMREP and the gentleman from Panama, is contributing, I really have not heard any actual figures. No actual statistics, no real analysis being conducted. So is Tatt going to consider that in terms of prior implementation, which we've done already, and after implementation, in the interest of ensuring that there's innovation, customers are really benefiting after all this money is spent? Yeah?
The issue of the survey that was done was simply to gauge if there was a demand for number portability or not. As was in, well, not in their case, it was indicated why they implemented number portability. In our case, number portability is required by the Act and subsidiary regulations, and it's considered as was pointed out by two gentlemen from the Dominican Republic, it's good for business investment. It's a good image for your country. Mm-hmm. And it also facilitates the introduction of new service providers, because no one wants to change their numbers. So if you are alluding to, and I'm assuming this is what you're getting at, some sort of cost-benefit analysis, it's not required by law.
I therefore hope you found today's ICT Open Forum both interesting and beneficial. The overwhelming nature of your attendance today and the energetic debates, it got a little more energetic at the end, I was beginning to wonder, during the question and answer panel discussion tells us that at least we have indeed chosen a topic that is important to many of our stakeholders. Mr. Alden, thank you for setting the Trinidad and Tobago context. I also wish to recognize our presenters, Mr. Navarro and Mr. Guzman. Thank you for sharing your experiences both in implementation and ongoing management of number portability. We will remember to measure number portability not by the number of ported numbers, but in the benefits to consumers based on the improved competition.